Hi everyone. So today we will discuss the Jan 2022 Mathematics A paper 2H. Let's start with the first question. Expand and simplify y plus 4 into 2 minus y. Okay. So simply y plus 4 into 2 minus y. So you take this y and you multiply with the 2 minus y, right? Y times 2 minus y. And then you take the plus 4 and multiply it with the second bracket. Let's open it out. Y into 2 is 2y, minus y into y is y square, plus 4 into 2 is 8, minus 4 into y is 4y. So I end up getting, I'll write the negative y square first, plus 2y minus 4y gives me negative 2y plus 8. So my answer is minus y square minus 2y plus 8. Okay, then the next question. Factorize fully. 15b to the power 5c minus 35b to the power 3c to the power 9. Okay, so how do we factorize this? In factorization, we take the common term. We take the common term out. So in this case, I can see when I take the number 15 and 35, 5 is common. I can divide both of these terms by 5. So I can take out a 5. Also, I can see here there's b to the power 5, there's b to the power 3. So I can take a b to the power 3 out, right, from both of them. And also when I compare both the terms, there's c here, c to the power 1, and there's c to the power 9. So because so I can take a c to the power 1 now. So open the bracket, write the remaining terms. 5 times 3 is 15. From b to the power 5 and b cube goes out, another b square is remaining. And c to the power 1 I'm taking out, the c will go from here. Minus 5 times 7 is 35. B cube is taken out. C to the power 9, I take c to the power 1 now, which gives me c to the power 8. So the answer is 5b cube times c into 3b square minus 7c to the power 8. Okay, let's move on to the next part. Show that, okay, we need to show that 3 over 4 when we divide by 2, 4 over 7, we get this 2, 5 over 8. So basically we need to do all the working and show here. So write your mixed fractions. And the first step is we need to convert them to improper fractions. So 4 times 6, 24, plus 3, 27 over 4, divided by 7 times 2, 14, 16, 16, 17, 18 over 7. So you need to show all the steps because it's a show that, and you need to work manually, show all the steps to get all the 3 marks. Okay. So 27 over 4, division turns to multiplication, and I get here 7 over 18. So now we can simplify them. So we can cut this from 9 times table. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 3 is 27. I end up getting 3 over 4 into 7 over 2. So let's multiply. I end up getting here 3 times 7 is 21. 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, so I can't cut anymore. Now we'll turn this into the improper fraction. The improper fraction to a mixed number. So 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So 5 more remaining. So 21 over 8. When we turn to the mixed number, we get 2, 5 over 8. Okay, so this needs to be done manually. You could use the calculator to check the intermediate working here. However, you need to show the relevant steps because it's a show that, and basically the answer is given. So you need to show the middle steps and you need to show these intermediate steps to get all the marks. Okay. Okay, then let's move on to the next one. Okay, in question number 3. They say triangle ABC is similar to triangle PQR. Okay, so we have similar triangles. AB equals 4 centimeters. Okay, PQ equals 12, RQ equals 16.5, AC is X, and PR is Y. Okay, calculate the length of BC. Okay, how do we calculate the length of BC? In similar triangle, what's the rule? The ratios between corresponding sides are equal. So get the ratios between corresponding sides. So looking at the angles, we can decide which sides are corresponding. So when I take the side AB, I know AB will correspond to which angle. So when I look at these two diagrams, the angles the way they have drawn, I can see AB definitely corresponds to PQ. Okay, so AB corresponds to PQ. So AB over PQ, the ratio of AB to PQ must be equal to the ratio of, so I'm trying to find the length of BC. So BC to the other side is RQ. So I hope you understand here. I'm taking the ratios of the corresponding sides, and when I start with the small triangle, always the smaller triangle sides need to come up, and the other triangle I have chosen to put it in the denominator, which means when I go to the other ratio also, this RQ ratio has to come in the denominator. Okay, so go in order. So AB is 4 over PQ is 12, BC is what I want to find, RQ is 16.5. So let's find BC. So BC equals 4 times 16.5 divided by 12. So type this in the cal. 4 times 16.5 divided by 12. And I get 11 over 2, which is in other words 5.5. So I get BC equal 5.5 centimeters, which is what you need to write here. Okay, then let's move on to the next part. Part B, write down an expression for y in terms of x. Okay, so write the expression for y, making y the subject in terms of x. So they're not asking you to find x or y, they're asking you to write the answer for y in terms of x. So again, let's write the similar the ratios between corresponding sides, so x and y. The corresponding sides are AC, which corresponds to PR. So again, I'll take the another side, I know AC to PR, then I'll take AB to PQ. AB to PQ. Then let's input the value. AC is X, PR is Y, AB is 4, PQ is 12. So they're asking us to give an expression for Y in terms of X, meaning Y should be the subject. Let's simplify here. 4 times 1, 4 times 3 is 12. So I get X over Y equals 1 over 3. Cross multiply x times 3 equals 1 times y. I end up getting basically y equals 3x. So that's it. So this is the answer. Write down an expression in terms of y for y in terms of x. So which means you need to make y the subject. Okay, so y is equal to 3x. Question number 4. Each side of a regular octagon has a length of 18 millimeters, correct to the nearest 0.5 millimeter. Write down the lower bound of the length of each side of the octagon. Okay, so when they say you that's given to the nearest 0.5, like they've given you the big interval here. So the length 18 millimeter is written correct to the nearest 0.5. So if you want to find the upper bound and lower bound, basically all you need to do is divide that given interval. So it's 0.5 millimeters, right? Divide it by 2. So when you divide 0.5 by 2, what you need to do is to get your lower bound to your 18 millimeters, you need to subtract half of that given interval. Subtract half of the 0.5, and for the upper bound, you add half of the 0.5. So this is what you do in every question. When if they say it's given correct to the nearest 1 millimeter, so I would divide 1 by 2, and then I would subtract 1 over 2 and add 1 over 2. If they say it's given written correct to the nearest 10 millimeter, then I would divide the 10 by 2 and add the answer and get the upper bound, subtract the answer and get the lower bound. So I hope this is clear with you all. So when I do this 18 minus half divided by 2, I get 17.75. So this is my lower bound. And when I do 18 plus half over 2, I get 18.25. So this is my upper bound. Okay, I hope this is clear with everyone. Okay, question number 5. The scale diagram shows the position on a map of a house A. The scale is given as 1 centimeter represents 200 meters. Okay. So house C is on a bearing of 110 degrees from A. The distance from A to C is 700 meters. Mark the position of C on the diagram with a cross. Label your cross as C. Okay. Now the thing is, to do this, they have given you the scale. 1 centimeter represents 200 meters, and they have told you the distance from this point A to your point C is 700 meters. So first thing is to convert this given 700 meters to the relevant centimeter unit so that we can measure. So 1 centimeter represents 200 meters. Then how many centimeters represent 700? So you could cross multiply, or you can simply divide. 1 centimeter represents 200 meters. Then how many centimeters represent 700? So to find that, we just need to divide what? 700 meters should be divided by 200 meters. So 700 divided by 2 is 7 over 2, which is what? 3.5 centimeters. So this is 3.5 centimeters. Now, what I have to do is I have to take the protractor and I have to measure an angle of 110. So let me measure an angle of 110. So let's keep it over here and measure an angle of 110. So 110 is so I had measured it from here. So my 0 starts from here 10. So I have to go to 110. So 110 is over here. Now remember the 0 degree is up to over here, right? So when you're measuring a bearing, there are things to remember, right? Bearings are measured from the north. A bearing is measured from the north. A bearing is measured to the clockwise direction. So it's really important. Okay, so from the north, you have the 0 degree up here. And as you can see here, I have to use the inner scale according to the protractor that I'm using. I need 110 clockwise, in the clockwise direction. So then I have to go from the inner scale here. From 0, I have to go to 110 and mark that position. So this is the 110. I hope all of you can see it. Okay, so I measured the 110 using the inner scale. Okay. Then the next thing is from this line, along this line, I have to measure how many centimeters. So the distance from A to C is 700 meters, which we found as 3.5 centimeters. So you have to measure 3.5 centimeters. You have to mark 3.5 centimeters. Let's mark it. So 3.5 centimeters somewhere over here. 3.5. Okay, so then we have the point C. So now you can mark your house. So this is point C. Okay, so at point C, the angle, the bearing is 110 from A. As you can see, we measure the bearings. We have to measure it from A to the north, from starting from the north to the clockwise direction. And then the distance from A to C is 3.5 centimeters. So this is it. This is the question of your C. Label your cross C. Okay. The next one, write the scale of the map in the form 1 to n. Okay. So how do we write in that form? The scale they have given is 1 centimeter represents 200 meters. So when they give you in the form 1 to n, there are no units here. So there are no units here. Basically, what it represents here is they want you to find how many, 1 centimeter represents how many centimeters here. Because there are no units involved. So then you need to realize this 1 to n means 1 centimeter is how many centimeters. So basically, I can convert the 200 meters to centimeters. So let's convert. So we know 1 meter is 100 centimeters, right? So then basically, what do we have? We have to convert 200 meters to centimeters. Just multiply it with 100. So then I have 1 centimeter is equivalent to 20,000 centimeters. So 1 to 20,000. So write down the value of n. So the scale is 1 to 20,000. Okay, so I hope this is clear with everyone. Question number 6. A bag contains only pink sweets, white sweets, green sweets, and red sweets. The table given The table gives each of the probabilities that when a sweet is taken at random from the bag, the sweet will be green or the sweet will be red. Okay, so they have fixed, they have given you two of the probabilities. Okay, so then they're asking you the ratio number of pink sweets to number of white sweets is 2 to 1. Okay, so these two are not given, but they have given you the ratio. There are 28 red sweets in the bag. Work out the number of white sweets in the bag. Okay. So the first thing is we need to fill out the probability values here. How do we fill out the probability values here? Okay, so they say here, okay, your bag contains only pink, white, green, and red. Okay, so first thing we need to know about probability is the total probability value adds up to how much? Always the total probability value adds up to 1. So we can find the addition of the green and red probability. So what happens when you add these two? 0.2 plus 0.35 gives us 0.55, right? So we have 0.55 probability here. So then that from that value, I can now determine, I mean, I can't individually determine yet, but I can determine the addition of the probabilities of pink and white, because total probability adds up to one, adds up to 1. So let's say the pink probability is X and let's say the white probability is Y. So that means X plus Y plus that 0.55, or I can say 0.2 plus 0.35 should definitely be equal to 1. Individual probabilities, when you add, it must definitely be equal to 1. So I can get the probability of X plus Y, the pink and Y probability, 1 minus 0.55, which gives me 0.45. Okay, so then they have told me that the ratio of the pink to white is 2 to 1. So they have told us the ratio of pink to white is 2 to 1. So, so what I can do here is I can use this ratio to divide my probability also. I mean, if the number of, I mean, they have told you the number of pink sweets and number of white sweets is in this ratio. So you could even, I mean, the total probability of pink and white also we can divide in this particular ratio and get the individual probability of pink and white. Okay, so the probability, if you take the ratios of the probabilities also, it should be 2 to 1, as they have given the number of pink sweets, number of white sweets. Basically, even though the number probability, the number ratio will exactly be the same as the probability ratio. Okay, so that's the thing you need to understand here. So, shall we get the probability of pink? So what is the probability of pink? So we have here two parts. For pink, we have two parts. Out of total, three parts. Because it's 2 to 1, you have a total of 3. So 2 parts out of total 3 from a total value of how much? These ratios from a total value of how much? 2 to 1 ratio. I'm using the 2 to 1 ratio for a total of 0.45. So remember here 0.45 is the probability, okay? Not the number of sweets here. So it's 0.45. What do I get here? 2 into 2 over 3 into 0.45, and I get 0.33 over 10. Okay, so this is the probability of pink. Okay, and then the probability of white, I could just substitute X as 0.3 here and subtract from 0.45 and get, or I can say white ratio is a 1 part, right? White has 1 part out of total 3 from the total ratio 0.45. Okay, so 1/3 of 0.45 is 0.45 divided by 3, which should be 0.15, right? 0.15. Okay, so that gives me the individual probabilities of pink and white. However, that's not what we need to find. We need to find the number of pink and, okay, we need to find the number of white sweets. So this is 0.3. This is 0.15. I hope all of you are clear with what I said over here. I found the probability, the total probability of pink white, and I divided the total probability in the 2 to 1 ratio, because the number of sweets, the ratio of the number of sweets will definitely be equal to the ratio of the probability for the sweets. Okay, so the ratios also, the probabilities are also definitely equal. Okay, then so after finding the individual probabilities, now we know there are 28 red sweets in the bag, right? So for red, there are 28, the number of sweets. And what's the probability of red? The probability of red was 0.35, right? Now they are asking us to work out the number of white sweets. Okay, so then this is the number of sweets. Let's say this is the number of sweets and the probability. So for 28 sweets, there are 28 red sweets. So for 28, the probability is 0.35. They are asking us to work out the number of white sweets. So for that's what I want to find, the number of white sweets. Let's say, yeah, let's say that is n. So the number of sweets is n in white, let's say, and the probability of getting a white sweet is 0.15. So basically, what can I do now? We can just simply even do cross multiplying. I mean, you could do I mean, you could just use a ratio here. Simply, you could use a ratio for 28 sweets. 28 sweets are present for a probability of 0.35. Then, how many sweets are present for a probability of 0.15? This is what you need to think. Okay, if there are 28 sweets for a probability of 0.35, then how many sweets are there for a probability of 0.15? Because we need to find the number of white sweets. So that's the thinking you need to do here. So I get here, so I will use my cross multiplication technique. You can use any other technique. You could just divide 28 by 0.35 and then multiply by 0.15. So you can do it according to your understanding, but the key is what I told you earlier. If there are 28 sweets for a probability of 0.35, then how many are there for a probability of 0.15? That's all you need to realize. Okay. So 28 for 0.35, then equal n times 28 times 0.15, n times 0.35. So I get here n equals to 28 times 0.15 divided by 0.35. Let's simplify this. 28 into 0.15 divided by 0.35, and I get n equals to 12. Okay, so there are 12 white sweets. I hope this was clear with everyone. Question number 7. Find the lowest common multiple, the LCM of 28, 42, 63. Sure, you are working clearly. So let's get the, what we'll do is, we'll convert each of them to its, let's divide each of them. So 28, when we, I want to write each number as a product of its prime factors. Get each number as a product of its prime factors, and then we'll work out the LCM. So 28 divided by 2 is 14. Divide by 2 is 7. We divide by 7 and I get 1. Okay, so I get here 28 is equal to 2 into 2 into 7, which is 2 to the power 2 times 7. Next number is 42. Let's divide 42 also. 2 times 21. Divide by 3, it's 7. And divide by 7, it's 1. So 42 is 2 into 3 into 7. There are no repeated factors, right? And the next number is 63. When we divide by, we can't divide by 2, we can divide by 3. You need to keep dividing by prime numbers, however. So this is going to give me 21. When I divide by 3 again, it's going to be 3 times 7. And dividing by 7 again, it's 1. So 63 is 3 into 3 into 7, which gives me 3 to the power 2 times 7. I'll write this guy also again here because everyone have written it twice. So it's easy to get the LCM. Now let's get the LCM. So for LCM, what do we do? From each and every individual factor, you must take each and every individual factor. And if those factors are common between numbers, then we need to take the highest power. So for example, now you can see here we have the factor 2. So we have here 2 to the power, okay, so we have here 2 to the power 2. And we have here 2 to the power 1. So the highest power, take the highest power. So highest power of 2 is 2 to the power 2. So that's how I take care of the factor of 2. Next, go for the factor of 3. So when I take the factor of 3, here I have a 3 to the power 1. Just 3 is 3 to the power 1. Here 3 to the power 2. Take the highest power. Each and every individual factor comes regardless whether it's common or not. Now, even though it's there only in one term also, it should come. So here we have 3 over here. 3 is take the highest power of 3. 3 to the power 2. The next one is 7. So I can say 7 is common to all 3. In all the 3 I have 7 to the power 1. So that means I'll take 7 to the power 1. So let's multiply. So I get here 2 to the power 2 times 3 to the power 2 times 7. And I end up getting 252 as my LCM. So this is 252. Question number 8. The table gives information about the average house price in England in 2018 and in 2019. So they have given you the years and the average house prices. Work out the percentage increase in the average house price from 2018 to 2019. Give your answer correct to one decimal place. So how do you find the percentage increase? The percentage increase equals to the increased amount over the original amount. So we start, the value we start, the initial amount into 100. So we are considering from 2018 to 2019 here. Okay, so then from 2018 to 2019, how much is the increased amount? You need to subtract and get the value, right? So it's going to be 231,776 minus 228,314. So that gives me 3,462 is the increased amount. 3,462 over what is the original amount? By original amount, why mean now we are doing from 2018 to 2019. Therefore, the starting amount in this case is 2018. So that should be 228,314 multiplied by 100. So this will give you the percentage increase. So calculate 3,462 over 228,340 into 100. So I get here 1.516 percentage. They want the answer to correct to one decimal place. So 1.516, when I give the answer correct to one decimal place, it's 1.5%. So your answer for part A is 1.5%. Okay. And the next one, the average house price in 2019, okay, was 7.7% greater than the average price in 2017. Work out the average price in 2017. So basically, what they are saying in other words is the 2019 price is a 7.7% increment. The value in 2017, when you increase the value in 2017 by 7.7%, we get the price in 2019. So basically, if your price in 2017 is X, if you increase it by 7.7%, we can get the value in 2019. So how do you increase the price? When they say you're supposed to increase the price of something by a percentage, increasing means by a certain percentage, we add that percentage to 100. We can directly get the answer if we add the percentage to 100, right? So the price in 2017, so 7.7%, I'll add it to 100%. When I add it to 100%, I get 107.7%. So X into 107.7% gives me, because 107.7%, it gives you a 7.7% growth. So this X value, when you say it's growing by 7.7%, this is what you do. You add the percentage to 100 and multiply it with the original figure, and then you get the figure in where? They say we get the figure in 2019. Okay, so the figure in 2019 is this 231,776. So basically this is X into 107.7 over 100 equals 271,776. So X equals 231,776 times 100 over 107.7. So let's take the house price in 2017. 231,776 times 100 over 107.7. So that gives me 215,205. So once again, they want the answer correct to 3SF. So 3SF, the third figure here is 5. The fourth figure is lesser than 5. So it's going to give me 215,000. So you can see here when I correct to 3SF, these numbers these all of these are going to be zeros. So I end up getting here 215,000 when I give my answer correct to three significant figures. Okay. Question number 9. The frequency table gives information about the number of points scored by a player. The number of points and the frequency is given. The mean number of points scored is 2. Work out the value of x. Okay, so here you have an unknown x value and they have given you the average points scored. So what we need to do here is how do we get the mean? Mean is equal to, what's the formula we use? Sigma fx over sigma f. So here your number of points is the x and your frequency is f. Basically what you need to do is you have to consider, you have to construct one more column here and calculate the value of what? You have to calculate the value of fx. So let's calculate the value of fx. Basically multiply. So multiply the frequency and x. So 0 into 13 is 0. 1 times 17 is 17. 2 times 8 is 16. Here it's 3 times x. Can you see? Here we have an unknown. So then you will have to multiply 3 and x and write 3x. The next one, 4 into 11 is 44. Okay, so sigma fx means, sigma means to add all the fx values. So to get sigma fx, basically, you add 17, 0 is of course negligible, 0 plus 17 plus 16 plus 3x plus 44. Shall we add all of this? So 17 plus 16 plus 3x, I can't add, I'll have leave it, plus the 44. So I get here 77. 77 plus there is a 3x. Do you agree with me? And we'll have to also get our total frequency. Sigma f also we will need to find it. Sigma f is the total frequency here. So we will have to add the values here. So 13 plus 17 plus 8 plus x, of course I can't add, plus 11, 13, 17, 8 and 11 gives me 49. So my total frequency is all these 49 plus there is another x because the x value is unknown, but we need to add it also, right? So we have to add all of them together. So it's 49 plus x. Okay, so I have my sigma f value and my sigma fx value. All I have to do is substitute them to my equation. The mean number of points scored is 2. So mean is 2 equals sigma fx I found as 77 plus 3x over sigma f I found as 49 plus x. So let's take this to the other side. 2 times 49 plus x equals 77 plus 3x. Open the bracket. 2 times 49 is 98 plus 2x equals to 77 plus 3x. So 98 minus 77 equals 3x minus 2x. So 98 minus 77 gives me 21. 3x minus 2x gives me x. So I immediately found the value of x. Work out the value of x. X is 21. Okay, so I hope this is clear with you all. Question number 10. Solve the simultaneous equations. So the first one is 3x plus 5y equal 3.1. The next one is 6x plus 3y equal 3.75. So obviously to solve the equations simultaneously, what we need to do is we need to make either our x term or the y term. The coefficient of the x term or the y term needs to look the same in both the equations. Now if you look at the first equation, we have 3x, we have here 6x. So I think you can see here, if I take the first equation and multiply the entire first equation every one by 2, I can end up creating a 6x. Okay, so shall we do that? The first equation I'll multiply everyone with 2, I get 6x plus 10y. 3.1 into 2 is 6.2. Is that okay? The other equation I have 6x plus 3y equal 3.75. So both the equations are okay now, and the 6x, both of them are positive signs. So what I want to do is I want to solve it simultaneously, means I need to get rid of one variable. So we can either add the two equations or subtract the two equations in such a way where one variable will completely cancel out with the other person and we just get only x or y remain. So basically here adding will not help, but if I subtract these two equations, I will be able to get rid of the 6x. So let's say this is my equation 1 and equation 2. So from 1 I will subtract the 2. So the first equation is 6x plus 10y. From 6x plus 10y, I will subtract 6x plus 3y equals, here on the other side also do the same, 6.2 minus 3.75. So open the bracket here, 6x plus 10y. I end up getting here minus 6x. Be careful, you are opening the bracket with a negative sign. So minus into plus is minus 3y. So 6.2 minus 3.75 is 6.2 minus 3.75 is 2.45. Okay. So I get here 2.45. And here next thing is the plus 6x and the minus 6x. As you can see, they will cancel out with each other. 10y plus 10y minus 3y is 7y equals to 2.45. So y equals to 2.45 divided by 7. So I end up getting y as 0.35. So substitute the y value into one of the two equations and get the x value. So into any one. If you want, you can use the original equation here or any one. I'll use the second one. So I'm going to substitute the x equation into the second equation. You can use it for any equation. There's absolutely no problem. Y is 0.35. So 3 times 0.35 gives me 1.05. So 6x plus 1.05 is equal to 3.75. The next thing I want to do is I'll take the positive 1.35 to the other side as a negative. So 3.75 minus 1.05, and that gives me 2.7. So I end up getting here 6x equals to 2.7. So 2.7, now to get x, we need to divide it by 6. So 2.7 divide by 6, and I end up getting 0.455x. 2.7 divided by 6 is 0.45. So x equal to 0.45 and y equals to 0.35. So these are our two final answers. Okay, question number 11. The diagram shows a regular 10-sided polygon A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Okay, so we can see our diagram here clearly. Then they are asking us to show that x equals to y. We need to show that x equals to y. Okay, how do we get started with this? Okay, first thing is I will find the interior angle of this 10-sided polygon. Shall we find the value of an interior angle of the 10-sided polygon? So the sum of interior angles, the formula we use is 180 times n minus 2, right? So the sum of interior angles is 180 n minus 2. In this case, I'm using 10 minus 2. And when that gives me the sum of the interior angles of this 10-sided polygon. So to get the value of one interior angle. Okay, so one interior angle. One interior angle of the 10-sided polygon is 180 into 10 minus 2 divided by 10. Okay, so this gives me the value of one interior angle. So 180 into 10 minus 2, which is basically 8, divided by 10. I get 144. So what is 144? 144 is basically each and every one of these interior angles. Okay, all of them, each and every one, this angle here, all of them are 144 each. Okay. Then the next thing we do is now we need to show that x equals y. Okay, how can I show x equals y? Okay, let me consider let's take this pentagon here for a moment. So in this pentagon, okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a five-sided pentagon. So in this pentagon, you can see that so these are the complete angles of the 10-sided polygon, right? So here we have 144 for each of them. So this angle over here is not, this is only having a part of the, so this is given to you as x. So basically what you need to realize here is by the symmetry of this shape, because it's a regular polygon, I mean the big shape is a regular polygon, you need to realize that this angle over here is also an x. So that's the key to the solving this problem. Okay, so there are 344 here. These two angles will definitely be x. Okay, so now what do I need to find here? I can find the value of x here. So let's get the considering the pentagon. So let's consider the pentagon. So when I work on the pentagon, the interior angle sum is equal to how much? 108 times n minus 2, which is 5 minus 2. 180 into 5 minus 2 is 180 into 3, which gives me 540 degrees. So now can't I find the value of x? To find the value of x, now all these 5 angles add up to 540, right? So all these 5 angles, the 144 times 3 plus the x plus 6, which is the 2x, all of them add up to 540. Do you agree with me? So this gives me, I can find the value of x here. Let me write it a little bit to the side. 44 times 3 plus the 2x is equal to 540. So I can end up getting the value of 540 by subtracting the 144 times 3, that is 2x, and dividing it by 2. I hope it's clear to you. From the 540 sum, I subtract these three 144s and I end up getting the value of 2x divided by 2 to get the value of 1x. So what do I get here? 540 minus 144 times 3 divided by 2. And I end up getting 54. And you see, I end up getting the x value as 54. Okay, so now what I need to do is I have to find my y value, and if I can show my y value is also 54, then we are done. X equal y. Okay, so to get the y value, what I need to do is I'll be considering the other side. Do you see the A, B, C, D? This is a quadrilateral. Do you agree? It's a quadrilateral. So in the quadrilateral also, these two are complete angles of the interior angle of the 10-sided polygon. So these two are 144. So let's say these two interior angles are, let's give it the name simple A. So these two guys are equal definitely because of the symmetry of the shape. Definitely these two angles are equal. So we can find the value of A here. So the 244 plus the 2a's, what do you think it's equal to? Do I need to use 108 minus 2 here for a quadrilateral? So for a quadrilateral, you are supposed to know that the interior angles of a quadrilateral always adds up to how much? 360. So I can find the value of my A here by subtracting the 360 with 2 times 144 and dividing the resulting value by 2. How much is A then? 360 minus 2 times 144 divided by 2. And I end up getting A is 36. I end up getting A as 36. So now I need to find my Y. What is the technique I can use here to get Y? To get Y, what I can do here is I can use this full angle. The full interior angle of the 10-sided polygon. So it consists of this x plus this y plus this a. So x plus y plus a is definitely what? X plus y plus a is also 144, right? Because it's the interior angle of a 10-sided polygon. So that's what you need to write here. End of the day, the x plus y plus the a is 144. So x is 54 plus y plus a is 36 equal to 144, and you get y equal 144 minus 54 minus 36. Let's get the y value and see whether x and y are equal. So 144 minus 54 minus 36. It gives me 54 again, and you can see x and y are equal. Therefore, x equals to y. Okay. So this is it. I hope this was clear with you all. Question number 12. A equals 6 times 10 to the power 40. Find the value of a cube. So how do I get the value of a cube? A cube means I should take my a value to the power of 3. So this is a cube, right? This is a cubic means giving both of these on either side the power 3. So this is what I have written here. Giving the power 3 to both the sides. Okay, so now let's work on this. So the power 3 will come to both the numbers, right? So 6 also gets the power 3 times 10 to the power 40 also gets the power 3. Okay, so 6 to the power 3 is, so 6 to the power 3 gives me 216. And what happens when you have 10 to the power 40 when you take it to the power 3? So there is already 10 already has a power. When you take it to another power, the rule is that the powers will multiply, isn't it? So 10 to the power, then 40 and 3 multiplies to give you 120. Okay. So we are not done yet because the question says you to give the answer in what form? They ask you to give the answer in standard form. So in standard form means you can't give 216, you need to make it what? 2.16, right? So let me consider 216. I get here 2.16, and how many times are we moving the decimal point? Because it's 216, the corner is here, we move it twice. 1, 2. 216 into 10 to the power 2 times 10 to the power 120. This 10 to the power 120 I wrote over here. Now we can write our final answer as 2.16 into 10 to the power 120, and the 2 will add, it will give you 122. Okay, so the answer is in standard form 2.16 into 10 to the power 122. Okay. Question number 13. The shaded region in the diagram is bounded by 3 lines. The equation of one of the lines is given. Okay, so they have given you the equation of this line. X plus 2y is 8. The other equations are not given. They are asking you write down 3 inequalities that define the shaded region. Okay, so you have to write the 3 inequalities that define the shaded region. So first thing is, before we go for the inequality, you need to identify the individual equation of each line. So this line is given. They have told this is x plus 2y equals 8. Okay, let's take a look at this particular line. So we look at this line, look at the coordinates. Sometimes, I mean, to get the equation of the straight line, you can use y equal mx plus c, right? Where m is the gradient, c is the intercept. But sometimes now, particularly in this line, you can see it's something that we are quite familiar with. Why am I saying that? Look at the coordinates. This the coordinate here is x is 1, y is 1. Look at here, x is 2, y is 2. Do you see that x is 3, y is 3? The x and y coordinates are equal to each other, right? Do you see that it's equal to each other directly? So in this case, you don't need to do any extra working here, but this is directly the equation y equal x. Okay, so if you really want to do it the other way, you can find the gradient of the line by using y difference over x difference, and then use y equal mx plus c and find the equation of the line also. That's fine. But however, I see that it's quite easy to get it in this manner. Okay, because it's directly, we can see it. The other line also we can directly write. So this is a vertical line, right? A vertical line that cuts the x-axis at -1, which means what? This particular line is x equals -1. It's simply x equals -1. Okay. So now it's time to write the inequalities. So let's take the first one. So I'll take the, I normally, what I use is I use the ruler and use it to identify the shaded region. So here for x equal to, this is the x equal to line. And from the x equal to line, with this ruler, I can go in 2 directions. One, I can go behind. The other one is, keeping the ruler here again, I can go to the forward direction. So do you see here, this is the x equal to line. So this is the x equal to line. And from the x equal to line, I can go in 2 directions. One, I can go behind. The other one is keeping the ruler here again, I can go to the forward direction. So do you see here, this is the x equal to line. So this is the x equal to line. if I want to go to the shaded region, the question asks us to define the shaded region. For the shaded region, I need to go from the x equal minus 1 line. I have to go move forward. Then I go into the shaded region. Do you see? So moving forward, in other words, is so going like this. Moving forward, in other words, is where we say x is greater than, right? So here x is equal minus 1. Yeah, unequal. This should be, since it's a full line, x is greater than or equal minus 1. I hope you can see because I'm moving to the greater side, moving to this side. Because I move to this, because I move to the right side, I'm moving to the x greater than 1 side. Okay, so that's my first inequality. Let's go for the next one, y equal x9. This is my y equal x9. Balance my ruler on top of this. Okay, so this is the line y equal x. I'm keeping the ruler here. So from here, there are two directions to go. I could go like this way. You can see this way. The ruler is moving down and I'm moving away from the shaded region. Do you see? I'm going down and I'm moving away from the shaded region. Okay, then the other option, again, I keep the ruler here. The other option is where I move in. Do you see I'm moving upwards, and when the ruler is moving upwards, I'm going in towards the shaded region. I'm in the shaded region when I move up. So moving up, do you see it's moving up? Upward direction tells you that it should be greater than. So this is y. I mean, when you have both yx, you give priority for your y. So you make sure you give y the priority. Y is. So y equal x. So here you can see your ruler is moving upwards. So therefore you say y is greater than or equal x. You could try this with coordinates. There are many ways of doing. So I feel this is the easiest. You keep the ruler and according to the direction you are moving up means y should be greater than. If you're moving downwards, then y should be less than. Okay. So just find the inequality sign for the direction of y. Okay, when both x and y are there, your inequality sign needs to be, you need to consider it for y. So here the ruler is moving up, therefore y is greater than. Let's go for the other one. Here also we have both x, y. So look for the y here. So x plus 2y. X plus 2y, here I have 8. So make sure I have a positive y here. And for y, for the y variable only, I will be writing the inequality whether the mouth is greater than or less than. So let me keep the rule again. Okay, so this is x plus 2y equal 8, right? So then in here there are two ways I can move. One way you see from the x plus 2y equal 8, my ruler is moving up and you can see this is going up, but it's moving away from the shaded line. Going up and going away from the shades. That's not what I want. We want this to go towards the shaded region, which means from x plus 2y equals 8, we are going in. So you can see when we are going into the shaded region, this is moving down. We are moving down, which means what is it? X plus 2y greater than. We are moving down means it's not greater than, should be less than towards the y, especially towards the positive y is where you need to aim your inequality sign definitely. So the positive y here is what you need to aim. So it should be less than. The positive y is less than or equal because we are moving down. Okay, so this is the way I use. You could test this by using coordinates or any method that is familiar to you. Anyway, this is the answer, that there are three answers that you need to write. So the answers we need to write here once again. X is greater than or equal minus 1. Y is greater than or equal x. X plus 2y is less than or equal 8. Okay. Question number 14. A zip wire is shown as the dashed line AC in the diagram. The zip wire is supported by two vertical poles AB and CD standing on horizontal ground. CD equal 2.6 and BD equals to 12. Okay. The zip wire makes an angle X with the horizontal as shown in the diagram. The design of the zip wire requires the angle to be at least 5 degrees. Okay. So the minimum angle we have here is 5 degrees. Work out the least possible height of the post AB. Okay, so what's the smallest height we can have here? So basically what we need to do here is work with the 5 degree. Okay, because if the angle is more than 5 degree, the reason being here, I can take alternate angles here. Okay, so let me show this. I can take this alternate angle here. Okay, so that means this x degree comes over here. And then I can, so if this is more, if this is x, this is also becoming x. So if it is more than 5, this pillar will grow taller, right? Because the I mean that's what they say here. At least work out the least height of the post. Least height in the sense, if your angle is more than 5, then this angle of elevation will increase, and thereby this will move up. So this point will move up. So basically, if you want to find the least height, you simply have to work with the 5 degree. You don't even need to think about anything else. So basically, here your x degree is the 5 degrees. Okay, so now our task here is what? We need to find the minimum value of this height AB. Okay, so once again, the 2.6 meter CD can be taken to this point, right? 2.6 from here to here. Okay, and then this is 12 meters. This length is again 12 meters. So let's say this small length here. So let's say that is, will not use the letter X, X is used. Let's say this length is Y. So to find the height of this post AB, all I need to do is find the value of Y and add 2.6. That's it, right? This is the right angle triangle here. So let's just use sine cos tan. So which ratio do we need to use? Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cos adjacent over hypotenuse, tan opposite over adjacent. Okay, so which one? So to the 5 degrees, this y is the opposite, right? This is the hypotenuse and 12 is the adjacent. So I have opposite. I need to find the opposite and I know the adjacent. So we will have to go with tan. So let's work with tan 5 degrees. Opposite over adjacent. Opposite is y, adjacent is 12. Get the value of y, tan 5 degrees times 12. They found the final answer to previous step. So let's take it a little bit. So this is tan 5 degree into 12. That gives me 1.04986. 1.04986, right? 4986. Okay. So now the least height of AB. Least height of AB is what? The y value, you need to add it to the 2.6. 1.04986 plus the 2.6. So when you add these two, 1.04986, this answer plus the 2.6, I end up getting a 3.649. 3.64986. So when I give my answer to 3 significant figures, it's going to give me 3.65 meters. So the answer is 3.65. Once again, I hope you understand why it's the minimum. Because if your angle is more than 5 degree, your AB height will increase. Okay. So depending on the angle of elevation here, this if it is more than 5, this will definitely increase. So the lowest, they have said here, the lowest value of the angle, it has to be 5 degree, the lowest angle. So because of that, the lowest height we can get here is 3.65. Okay. Question number 15. DR recorded the distance in kilometers that is cycled each day for 11 days. Here are his results. Find the interquartile range of his results. So what do we do here? First, you need to rearrange your data. First thing is you have to rearrange your data in ascending order. Okay, so rearrange your data in ascending order. So what's the lowest value here? So first we have 5. Then again we have 5. Next we have 7. Next we have 8. And next we have 10, right? Then we have 12. And then we have 13. And next I have 14. Next there's 16. And then 21 and 23, right? There are 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So make sure the first thing you do is rearrange your data in ascending order when you are working with these kinds of individual results. Okay, they are asking you to find the interquartile range. So to find the interquartile range, we will find the first quartile and third quartile, upper quartile and the lower quartile. So upper quartile for this is not group data. Okay, so this is individual data values. When you have group data, the upper part, the lower quartile we find by using n divided by 4. But for group data, for individual data points, we use n plus 1 divided by 4. So n is the number of data points, that is 11 plus 1 divided by 4, which is 12. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So 3 is not the answer. The third position, the third term or the third position of your ascending or the ordered number, the third position of your ordered number pattern is your first quarter. So the third position here is 1, 2, 3. This is the third one. So which means your Q1 answer is 7. So your Q1 answer is 7. Next to Q3, the upper quartile, 3 thrice of n plus 1 divided by 4. So 3 times 11 plus 1 is 12. Divide by 5 immediately. 4 and 12 cancel. So this I get 9th position. So count and get the 9th position. What is the 9th position? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, you have to count from the ordered data set. Okay, you must count from the ordered data set. The 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So then 9th position is 16. Is that okay? So Q3 is 16. So interquartile range. So interquartile range gives me Q3 minus Q1. Q3 is 16 minus Q1 is 7. So 16 minus 7 gives me 9. So my interquartile range is 9 in kilometers because it's a distance measured in kilometers. So interquartile range of this is 9 kilometers. Okay. Next one, D, E, F, and G are points on a circle center O. E, O, G is the diameter of the circle. Okay, so this is the diameter. Angle EGD is 42 degrees. Calculate the size of angle DFG. Okay, we have to find the value of angle DFG. Okay, so what are the things that we can use here? First thing I notice is that there is a diameter here. So when they say that there is a diameter, I remember the rule the angle subtended, the angle in a semicircle is a right angle. So do you see the right angle here? We have right angles in two places. One at point D, angle in a semicircle, the other one at F. So the angle at F is what I really want. So this is 90 degree. Okay, in addition to that, there is another important rule that we can use here. We need to make use of this 42 degree. How can I make use of the 42 degrees? So by which theorem? So considering points D and E, I think you can see from point D and E, we meet the circumference at the point G. This is from points D and E. We meet the circumference at point G. Again, from the same 2 points D and E, I meet the circumference at the point F. Do you see? From D and E. From these 2 lines, I meet the circumference at the point F, which means that this angle over here and this angle, the 42, these 2 are what? We call them as angles on the same segment because they both start from the same point and they meet the circumference at 2 different places from the points D and E. So basically, the first thing you can write here is, let's explain our reasonings and give a reason for each step of your working. So let's give a reason for each step. First thing is the angle EFG. The angle EFG is 90 degree. Why? Angle in a semicircle is a right angle. The next one that we need to talk about is the same segment. So this one is angle DFE. And angle DFE is this guy, DFE. So angle DFE is equal to angle DGE, which is equal to 40 reason angles in the same segment. Okay, so now how can I find the angle DFG? So to find the angle DFG, basically to find this angle, what do I need to do? From this 90 degrees, we need to subtract the 42. From 90, we subtract the 42, and what do we get? 90 minus 42 gives me 48. 48. So that's it. Angle DFG is 48 degrees. Okay. Question number 17. Show that root 12 over root 3 plus 2 can be written in the form a plus root b where a and b are integers. So basically what you need to do here is you need to rationalize. So here I have root 12 over root 3 plus 2. So how do I rationalize this? To remove the root from the denominator, we need to multiply both up and down of a fraction by the opposite sign of a denominator, right? So I have root 3 plus 2. So to get rid of it, I multiply with root 3 minus 2. It's just simply multiply with the opposite sign of your denominator. Okay. Then I end up getting here root 12 times root 3 minus 2 over root 3 minus root 3 plus 2 into root 3 minus 2. Okay, so let's multiply this. Okay, so root 12 into root 3. So you can use your cal or you can do it manually. Root 12 times root 3, it gives me 6. Root 12 into root 3 is 6 directly. Minus, let's open the bracket. So I multiply the first one, root 12 into 2. Next one, root 12 multiplied by minus 2. So I have the minus sign outside already. I get 4 root 3. Is that okay? Or we get here 2 times root 12. Or it's 4 root 3. We could, for the beginning, we could write 2 root 12 and show the 4 root 3 in the next step of our working. Anyway, so I will first write 2 root 12, okay, because 2 and root 12 multiplies to give me 2 root 12, because we need to show some method here. The next one, root 3 into root 3 is, multiply root 3 into root 3, we get root 9, or basically it's just 3. Root 3 into minus 2 is minus 2 root 3. Next one, plus 2 into root 3 is plus 2 root 3. Plus 2 into minus 2 is minus 4. Okay, so when we simplify now, I get here 6 minus 2 root 12 was 4 root 3, right? So I got earlier. Divide by the minus 2 root 3 plus 2 root 3 will cancel. And I get here 3 minus 4 is minus 1. So I get here 6 minus 4 root 3 over minus 1. When I simplify, the minus mark goes for both. Minus 6 minus minus is plus. Minus 6 plus 4 root 3. So this is what they wanted, right? Can be written in the form a plus root b. So they want the form a plus root b. Actually, I have the form, there's a number outside my cert. Do you see it? Okay. So before I go there, before I tell you how to convert this to entire set, I hope you understood what I did with the minus 1. I separated the minus 1 with both of these elements. So it's 6 over minus 1 and minus 4 root 3 over minus 1. So minus 1 became minus 6. Minus 4 root 3 over minus 1 became plus 4 root 3. Okay, then to convert it to an entire set, minus 6 plus 4 root 3. So now when you take a number outside of the set, what's the rule? If there's a number, basically the root of 4 becomes 2 because you have a pair of 2's inside the set. If there's a pair of, if you have the same number as a pair inside the set, you can take it out as a single digit. That's the rule, right? So here, now the thing is you need to take this 4 inside the set because they want a plus root b, the cert needs to be complete. There's nothing outside the cert. So what's the technique of taking a number inside the cert? So taking a number inside the cert is, the way we take it inside the cert is where the 4 goes in. When the 4 goes in, it goes as a pair of 4s, because when you have a pair of 4s only, you can take it out as a single 4. Okay, I hope you can understand. When there's a pair of numbers inside the cert, it comes outside as a single digit. This rule that I was talking about. So if you're taking it to the other side, when the 4 goes in, it goes as a pair of 4s. So I get here minus 6 plus. Inside the root, what do I get? Complete cert, 4 into 4, 16. 16 times 3 is 48. So minus 6 plus root 48. So here where a and b are integers, a plus root b. So this is my a plus root b. A is minus 6, b is 48. Okay, I hope this is clear. Question number 18. Prove that when the sum of the squares of any two consecutive odd numbers is divided by 8, the remainder is always 2. Show clear algebraic working. Okay, so how do we show the sum of the squares of two what? Consecutive and odd numbers. Okay, so first of all, we have a very specific format for an odd number, right? So even number format is what we say, even any even number follows the format 2n, right? Where n can be any integer. So if you have 2 times n, it means it's definitely an even integer. So then how do you make it an odd integer? To make it odd, what do we say? So the odd number we say for 2n, when we add 1, 2n is definitely even. For the even number, when we add 1, it definitely becomes odd, right? So 2n plus 1 is your first odd number, and they use the word consecutive. Consecutive means the odd numbers are close. I mean, the very immediate odd number. After 2n plus 1, what's the immediate odd number? How do we go from one odd number to the next odd number? So, so first odd number is 1, let's say, next odd number is 3, next odd number is 5, right? So how do you jump from odd number to odd number? You can see we need to add 2, right? 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. Basically, to jump from the first odd number to the next odd number, you just have to add 2. When you add 2, you go to the immediate next odd number, the consecutive odd number. So for 2n plus 1, all I have to do is add 2. When I add 2, I get my next odd number. Okay, so then what are my two odd numbers? The consecutive odd numbers are 2n plus 1 and 2n plus 3. Okay, they asked me us prove that when the sum of the squares. So sum of squares. Sum of squares means what? Sum means to add, square means to take the power 2. So the square. So this is 2n plus 1 square. You add it with 2n plus 3 square. So when you take the sum of squares and you divide by 8, they want you to show that the remainder becomes 2. Let's first open the bracket. 2n plus 1 square is 2n plus 1 into 2n plus 1. 2n plus 3 square is 2n plus 3 into 2n plus 3. Open this 2n, 2n is 4n square plus 2n. Okay, 4n square plus 2n. Next one. 1 into 2n is 2n, 1 into 1 is 1. Next person, plus 2n into 2n is 4n square, 2n into 3 is 6n, plus 3 into 2n is again 6n, plus 3 into 3 is 9. So add this, adding the right terms, 4n square gives me 8n square. And then I have here 2n plus 2n, 4n, 6n plus 6n. So that is 10, 16n, right? I get here 16n's. And finally, I get here 1 plus 9, that gives me 10. Do you agree? So this is what I get when I get the sum of the squares of two consecutive odd numbers, because this is written in general form. It's capable of representing any odd number, because we have written this in algebraic form. We have written in the general format of an odd number. Okay, so then in this case, we have got a general algebraic expression for the sum of the squares of any two consecutive odd numbers. Okay, you cannot use the real examples here. You have to do algebraic working and show. So do not use just normal examples and square and show. Okay, you have to do it in a general way like this. So I get this. Now, how do I show when I divide this by 8, the remainder is always 2? How do we show that there is a remainder of 2? Now, you can see when it's divisible by 8, if it's divisible by 8, I can take a factor of 8 out, isn't it? If it is divisible by 8, I should be capable of taking a factor of 8 out. So you can see here 8n square, yes, I can take 8 out. From 16n, yes, it's divisible by 8, I can divide by n and take 8 out. But 10, however, I can't divide by 8, right? 10 is not divisible, 10 is not directly divisible by 8. So look at the technique that I'm using here. I'm going to break it up like this. I use 8n square plus 16n plus 10. I'll be breaking it up as 8 plus 2. Do you agree with what I wrote? I mean, 10 is basically 8 plus 2, right? And now from these three, I can take out a 8. Look. So So I'm taking out 8 here. So I end up getting n square plus 2n plus 1. And separately outside, there's a plus 2. So this factor of 8 here outside tells me that this particular section is exactly divisible by 8. This part is exactly divisible by 8, while the plus 2 here tells me that this is the remainder. This is the part that doesn't divide with 8. So there's a remainder of 2. Do you see? So there is always a remainder of 2. This is all you need to show. Okay, so this is the calculation. Okay, so you come to this format. You take a 8 out. This part is definitely divisible by 8, but there is another part. There's a plus 2, which is remaining. So you can write your conclusion. Therefore, the sum of squares of any two consecutive odd numbers, right? Just write the same thing in the question. Is divided by 8. The remainder is always 2. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so this is the algebraic working you need to show. You cannot use real examples using 3 and 5 and squaring and showing there's a remainder of 2 when you divide by it. That doesn't work. You have to do a algebraic proof. So this is how we do the algebraic proof. I hope this is clear with you all. Question number 19. PTQ is the diameter of a circle. Okay, this is the diameter. This is the diameter. RTS is just a normal chord of the circle. Okay, TQ is 3 centimeter marked. ST is 4 centimeter, it's marked. TR is 12. Okay, calculate the radius of the circle. So what do we use here? We use the theorem of the intersecting chord theorem. So how do we use the intersecting chord theorem? TT, so the place where the two chords intersect, separate the chords from that point. TT times TQ equals ST times TR. PT times TQ equals ST times TR. So PT value is unknown, TQ value is 3, ST value is 4, while TR value is 12. So I end up getting here PT equals 4 times 12 divided by 3. Do you agree? This is the intersecting chord theorem. Okay, so then simplify this. This gives me 4 into, okay, this cancels 3 times 1, 3 times 4 is 12. So I get PT is 16. So PT length is 16 centimeters. The question, however, asks us to calculate the radius of the circle. So how do I get the radius? They have told us PTQ is the diameter. So what's the length of the diameter? The diameter PQ length is equal to PT plus PQ, right? Which is 16 plus 3, which is 19 centimeters. So therefore, now I can find the radius, divide the diameter by 2. Radius 19 divided by 2, and I end up getting here 9.5 centimeters. So this is the answer for your radius. I hope this is clear with all of you.